Stepsters, we are going to, you can hold on to all those and I'll just call for them one at a time. So we are going to hand you an envelope with your work study stipend, money, that's always a good thing. Please cash them soon so we can clear our books. We've had 2 STEP students in the past who didn't ever cash their work checks. I don't understand that. I would have loved to have kept that money, but anyway. No, but please make sure that to get those cashed. And in addition to your work stipend, you also will have your first aid certification from our Western First Aid. So I think they're almost more excited about that. We talk about living the lives you want. We also want to learn how to save lives too. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take this in alphabetical order as far as the Stepsters go. So our first student is Mr. Tevin Bailey. Tevin. All right, right here. Face your adoring public, man. All right. So Tevin is a young gentleman who came to us from Arkansas, and even though we differ on our appreciation of sports teams, go Dogs.
Wolves up.
All right, he's saying wolves up. I told him the other night he could have the last word on sports. So, but Tevin, man, it has been just a great blessing having you here. You have not only impacted all of your fellow STEP students, you have a lot of leadership potential. You've also shown that with the buddies and the kindness that you've shown those students and the help that you've given them. And the folks at Rosemary's, man, they just really appreciate you. You have done tremendous things here in the STEP program. You've learned a lot. One of the things that you said and that others have said from this program is that you wish you had discovered us sooner. And we wish the same was true too, because you have really impacted our lives just as much as we may have given you things. You've given us so much as well. So all the best as you go off to the university. And I know that you're going to stay in touch with us, and it is my honor to give you your Freedom Bell. Before I give you your money and do you have any words for your audience?
The other day we were doing the ropes course, and I wanted to quit halfway through, but one thing I told myself was no borders, no boundaries, meaning if you don't border yourself in or set limits for yourself, you can do whatever you want to do.
We put artificial borders around ourselves, or we let others do it for us. So thank you, Tevin. Can you ring that Freedom Bell for us, sir? There you go. Thanks, Tevin. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's right. No shooters. That's right. I'm going to start it right here with the sports fans.
And Tevin, you might want to seal your envelope.
Yes, you might want to. Don't lose that money, man. Don't lose it. You got to have it.
Ozzy can't have it.
Oh, poor Ozzy. All right. So now we come to another Southern gentleman who has proven to be quite versatile. He has. I told him. I said, "You've got a good radio voice. You've got a good." Voice for talking to people. And last night he showed us his musical talent. He played drums way better than I ever will. So Tyler Chambliss, please come up here, sir. He's a modest young man. All right, so Tyler, man, that was something else. For the audio described, Tyler had his hands in the air. I love it, man.
He's a rock star.
Tyler, one of the things is, Tyler, we have had a lot of laughs. Even before you came to the program, in talking with you, we did. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about you. You do have a quirky sense of humor, and so do I. So that is tremendous. And then also, you know how to be serious, too, when the time comes. And you're going into your senior year, going to have a lot of time of transition. And I know you're going to stay in touch with us, not only to share your musical talent, which I always love listening to, but also to share other things, successes, positives. If you have any questions, anything you might need, I know you'll reach out to us, and I am so glad to give you your Freedom Bell. You go, sir. All right, do you have any words for us?
Yes.
Let's go. Please do.
That's it. That's all you got.
One word.
Go ahead.
true Federationists, I'd like to give you a quote that was inspired by something Dr. Maurer had said. And I've said this multiple times before. Travel with success. You will know when the time is best.
I like it. All right, good job, man. So now the buddies are getting in on the act too. You know, I got to say, Tyler was what we call a talking sign, a marshal at a national convention. Several of our guys were. They'd say general session this way or escalator. They would call out so that those of us traveling would know where the different landmarks were. And I passed Tyler, who was being a marshal by one of the general session doors, and I was bragging on him to Miss Pam because I said, you know, I've never heard a sign do this before. Tyler was not only giving directions to the door, but he would say, fellow Federationists, I really sincerely urge you to pay attention to what's going on. and I'm serious, that was good. Because there are a lot of folks who go to these meetings and they don't pay attention. So Tyler, man, I never told you, I don't think. But I really appreciated that. It was good. I think we should.
Apparently President Riccobono did as well.
Really?
He sent me an email after convention.
I did not know this. We may have to record you on a loop or something. So now our next STEP program graduate is a young lady that I've known. It's hard for me to believe that she came to her first buddy program 7 years ago. That's the case, and that is wild. I knew of she and her family before that. And I'm so glad that now she was able to come to STEP, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next phase of her life. Jada Cormier, please come up. There you are. You materialized. There you go.
22.
All right, so
1764.
Data.
she's not Jada Swift, right? I don't know. She might
6
be.
times 9.
I got a quick story about that. So I always tell people you need to know your multiplication tables. This has nothing to do with Jada. But I said, you know, you could wake me up at 3 a.m. Please don't. But you could say, what's 7 times 6? And I could say 42. I might want to strangle you in the process. But the fact is, yeah, that's important. So I know that had nothing to do with multiplication, but a little education. Jada, it is so great to have you in the STEP program. I know that's one of the things that we've looked at now for a couple of years, and finally we're able to make that happen. You did a great job in the buddy program, and now as a STEP student, you have provided a lot of help and role modeling to the buddy students. So you are giving back to a program that got you first connected with us. So thanks again for being here this year. I know you're going to stay in touch in 2016 and beyond. So here is your Freedom Bell from the STEP program. Jada, do you have anything to say?
I do.
All right.
And can I be a quote from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Or Hamilton.
All right, guys. I didn't ask you if anybody else. Go ahead, Ms. Jada.
I made a family this year, and there's this quote that says, that wasn't the quote. It says that friends are the family you pick. And I used to think that was true. Then I met these people. And honestly, I could not have picked a better family of amazing people that I will definitely stay in touch with, I promise. Probably. Hopefully.
She's doing her best. Smart, Jada. Ring that Freedom Bell for us. All right.
You'll be back.
That's right. She'll be back in one iteration or okay. So, thank you, Jada. All right. So this next young man who will be joining us is someone who I really appreciate in terms of his self-advocacy abilities. He had to justify his attendance here with the South Carolina rehab folks. And he shared with me the letter that he wrote advocating to come here. And I've told him this before too, not only in written form is he good at self-advocating, but also when he speaks, I say, and I really mean, that his voice kind of has a statesman-like quality to it, even as a young man. So, Bill Dengler, please come up here, sir.
Yes!
All right. So now, Bill, aka Guillaume.
Guillaume.
Guillaume is French for William, And so, so I call him Guillaume sometimes. Bill and I have a running joke, at least on my end it's a joke, and that's a hate scale. I was joking, and I don't know why this started, I can't remember, but I said, Bill, on a scale of 1 to 10, your hate might go for me to an 11. And
No.
he said, and what did you, how did that go?
No, it was on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do you hate me? And I said 11.
11. And ever since, where is your hate scale now?
Oh, it went over 666 a while ago.
Some people's children is all I'm going to say. No, but it's all in jest. And Bill, you have done a great job. One of the things, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind me sharing, talking about numbers, Bill said that he thought he was at quote-unquote ground zero on some skills. That is no longer the case. Bill, you worked hard. You knew what you wanted to accomplish coming into this program, and you worked so hard to do that. You knew that technology was a strength of yours as well. And not only did you do well in your work experience in that regard, but also in part of that, giving back to the buddies as well. I know Miss Chelsea and the students that you worked with really appreciated it. And you said to me, you saw it from both sides, as a student and then as an instructor, being a role model for those who are younger. So Bill, congratulations to you. It is my privilege to give you your Freedom Bell. Before you ring that bell, do you have any words for us?
Yeah, as Mr. G had said, when I got into this program, you know, I couldn't do laundry, I didn't cook, my Braille skills were poor, I couldn't even make a bed, I couldn't clean, I couldn't do any of that. I was at quote-unquote ground zero. But now I can say, I'm not at ground zero anymore.
Congratulations, Bill. Nice job, sir.
Good job, buddy.
Good job.
Good job,
We
buddy.
need more folks who can advocate as well as Bill does, to advocate for what you want. And that's one thing, guys, is as you get older, Stepsters, I'm still going to stay in touch with your parents as needed, especially this year. But here's the thing. You guys, as you get older, you're going to have to advocate more and more for yourself. And I'm not going to be asking mom and dad so much how you're doing or if they need any help. I'm going to be asking you because it's going to be up to you. Like we said last night, society has low expectations for most of us. So we've got to prove them wrong. And it's going to be up to you to do that proving wrong. Mom and dad can't do that part for you. Now, don't go home and say, Mr. G said I don't have to listen to my folks. No, I still listen to my folks too, okay? So they have wisdom, they have experience that they can share, valuable things that you need to listen to. But I'm saying, as far as going out into the world and making an impression for yourself, that's on you. So I'm going to be checking on all of you. Bill, thank you so much for doing a great job. And next, we have another young gentleman who also did a great job, Garrett Harris. Please come up here. Garrett is a Louisiana, so I've known about him for a long time, and I really didn't get to interact with him much until a student seminar a couple of years ago. Every so often, I'd hear from his family, and they'd ask questions about school and about advocacy and things like that when he was a younger guy, you know, and so I knew his name. I used to order textbooks for him back when that was a job that I held and doing all that for the state of Louisiana, but I didn't really get to interact with Garrett very much. And this year, here in STEP 2016, I have. And Garrett, I have to say, one of the things I most appreciate about you is your wry wit. You really do. You come up with some zingers sometimes. And I'm thinking, where did that come from, man? You're such a nice guy, such a polite dude, and yet sometimes you come out with these observations again that is like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. You also have a way of advocating for yourself. And you've learned that you can do that, like with Miss Robin about the note takers. I said, you know, he was asking me to do some advocacy with his teacher, and I said, why don't you start the ball rolling and then I'll help you advocate, but why don't you get the ball rolling and start that? And he said, yeah, that's a good idea. So, Garrett, it has been great having you here. I know you're going to stay in touch with us, and it is a privilege to give you your Freedom Bell. Here you go. Now, do you have any words of wisdom for us?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you to everyone who has made this possible. It has really been an amazing experience, and the things I've been able to take away from this are truly amazing.
Thank you, Garrett.
R2T2.
All right. Thank you, man. Okay, so this young lady, she wanted to make sure that we gave props to her home state, and we did a while ago. She jumped the line. No, Brandy. So Brandy, please come up here. Brandy Hick from Utah. And so Brandy, you know, one of the things that I just really appreciate about you is your relentless positivity. When she first came into town, she really didn't land in Monroe until about 1 a.m. The flight kept getting delayed, and there were storms in Dallas, and you know, I thought, this poor young lady, she's never going to get here. You know, she's going to be sleeping in the DFW area, but she finally got here. And Brandy, yeah, ever since then, though, you know, she didn't say, "Oh man, I'm just so stressed out, I can't deal with it." Every time I ask her how she's doing, she says, "I'm doing wonderfully." And you know, I love this program, and she's just so positive. At first I thought she was overly quiet, but then I learned differently. Especially when she started throwing some wry wit my direction. I thought, wait a minute, where is that coming from too, man? Brandy has done an excellent job, and in addition to having musical talent, of course, you've proven to be versatile in other ways, and so we're so glad that you came to us all the way from Utah, and here is your Freedom Bell. Do you have anything to say too?
I do.
Please do.
I just want to say I loved it, and I'm going to keep learning a lot. There's still a lot for me to learn. I love all of the people I met here, and Mr. G, I may tease you a lot, but still love ya.
I appreciate that. And here is your check and your money, but also, and your birthday card, but please also ring that bell for us.
Hey, Randy.
Okay, now here is another young man who, like I said about Parker, I think this young guy from the SIP has... I didn't even have to ask him to come up here. Come on up. Ozzy is another irrepressible energy guy. Ozzy, I'm going to tell this story about you, Ozzy, because it's public record. So now Ozzy shocked me though in Orlando because we were in a youth track thing, and all the students were asked to say what they'd like to do or what they like, and then they would try to group up based on these likes, right? So I'm standing over there. I got stepsters saying, I like Intel processors, I like this, I like that. And it was kind of an interesting game. I didn't come up with it, but I thought it was interesting. Then Ozzy turns the tables, stands up and screams out. You probably don't want to do it here, do you?
You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
I like breaking stuff.
I like breaking stuff. I said, not at LCP. Ozzy has not, maybe he's broken some hearts there.
That may or may not be real.
May or may not be the case, but he has not broken anything that I know of at LCP. Ozzy, you know, the reason that story is so, it's heartwarming, and the reason it is, man, is because I know you were doing that in jest, because one of Ozzy's stated career goals is social work. And Ozzy, I think you're going to be fantastic in that field because you have a positive spirit, you try to lift people up. That's one thing that I discovered about you from the first day. When I met you, that Sunday afternoon, June 12th, I said, this is a very positive young man. And that has proven to be the case at all 8 weeks. So don't break your freedom bell. Hang on to it. Do you have any words for us?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I appreciate everything. Everybody, Mr. G, Mr. Pam, everybody here. I mean, I just appreciate it. I'm really grateful in that. I also have a quote.
All right.
My quote is keep your head up and like you smile, you gotta smile through the rain and pain.
Amen.
You're
All right, sir. Thank you, Ozzy. All right.
Savage.
The SIP, well, not during football season. All right.
LSU.
That's right, LSU. All right, so our next, so Miss Danielle's reminding me of something, and I ran out of time. You know, I wish there were 27 hours in a day. I didn't get accomplished something. Donovan, we were gonna have you read, dude. Not gonna happen, but you, Donovan, reads Braille. Awesome. We're still gonna scream out Braille Rocks and Canes Rock again because I never get tired of hearing it. So we're not doing it yet though. Next, we are still in the midst of STEP graduation 2016. And our next young lady is someone, I have known she and her sister for a long time as far as name. And actually, we met the Peoples years ago. I forgot about this, but I went on outreach, and my wife Crystal went with me. She's also a teacher of the blind. And we went together to an outreach call in central Louisiana. And Austin, our son, came with us. I don't remember why that was, but he did. And he was young. He was, I don't know. I don't even know if we were in Ruston at this point. I don't think we were. So Austin was maybe a year and a half old. But the Peoples, they were just enthralled with him. And so Megan Peoples, please come up here. I had forgotten about that outreach call. I had forgotten all about that, but I have known you for a long time, and I just really, you know, like I said, I can't say enough about the progress that you've made, about your willingness to come up here, and I know you've got a big senior year ahead of you. I know I don't have to tell your family and you guys, stay in touch. Let us know how you're doing. Keep us posted. And here is your Freedom Bell. I'll go back and hand it to you. Megan, do you have any words for us?
I just want to say thank you all for raising me up, and you know, because at first I came here, I was like, I knew I could do things, but some things weren't just like, I would get aggravated and just was like, oh, this. So, man, I just want to give up, but at the same time, I still had some courage to keep going, but now I am determined even more to get what I need to get done and become an RN, and I also love to get a guide dog too.
Congratulations. Bring that Freedom Bell. Congratulations, Megan. All right. So, our next person is, there you go. All right. Last but certainly not least is, thank you, is a young lady who, again, she does not say the SIP. So she's more refined. Destiny Townsend. She's over there. I'm not hating on Ozzy. Come on up here, Destiny. All right. Destiny came to our STEP program last year, and she's back again for another year of awesomeness. Destiny, one of the things that we have talked about before, and we said it a little bit last year, but it's even more true this year. You came to us in 2015 and were just really painfully shy. And by the time the program was over, you were laughing and smiling and talking a lot. And now in 2016, that's even more accurate. You are just, I walked in the ladies' apartment a couple of different times, and I was like, who is doing all that laughing? And they said, that's Destiny. And I said, keep doing it. It's awesome. And Destiny, you've got a big senior year ahead of you in school, and it's been great having you back for another year. And here is your Freedom Bell. When she went back for her work experience, she asked if she could do the same thing she did last year at the same place. And when we inquired about that, they're like, yes, please. It just goes to show how well you represent yourself and how well you represent LCP. Do you have anything to say to us? No. Okay. Bring that up. And let's give it up for all of our STEP program participants. Now, without the applause part, I want, on the count of 3, I want please the buddies and the steps to ring their bells at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Yeah, thank you guys. So, that is, alright, the buddies, they have relentless energies. Y'all can ring those at home. But you know, as Miss Pam says, that really is a tangible reminder of LCB. Because there will be days, everybody has tough days. Everybody has days where they're like, man, you know, life is just, I'm just aggravated. But I hope you'll put that Freedom Bell in a place where it can be prominently displayed and accessed. That way, when you're having trouble, you can go and you can, you know, check out the Freedom Bell and be reminded of us here at LCB. Because yeah, you're going to stay in touch, and yeah, we're going to be checking on you and all that. But sometimes it's just nice to be able to have that tangible, you know, hey, I did this for these 3 weeks or for these 8 weeks. And so again, the school year for some of you has already started. So a couple of you gave up a couple of days of school to come to stay with us, and we're appreciative of that. For others of you, the school year is about to start. So you guys are going to have a tremendous 2016, 2017, just like with the buddies. We could not have done it without our exemplary counselors, and so I'm very appreciative to them for all that they have done. So thank you, counselors. Now, a few housekeeping things too before we do some Braille rocks, canes rocks, screamage. Okay, screamage is a word just like chumpage. Okay, we have our own step vocabulary and buddy vocabulary.
Sandwich.
Well, I can't claim sandwich, but I did not coin it. Guys, just like I said, any pictures or anything you want to share, please do. Get with me on that. Also, know some of you have a long road to go, so just make sure that you let one of the counselors or whatever know when you're leaving, so that we know you're off campus. And as soon as this is over, I'm going to be, I have to head to LCB with one of the families to grab something real quick. So if I don't get to see you before you leave, just know that anytime you need anything at all, please, you know, I promise though, parents, the volume of text you've been getting over the past little while, that's going to slow way down now. So you can be relieved. I'm not going to blow you up as much. But I am always available to you, as you know. So please, students, parents, keep in touch with us and let us know how you're doing. Before we adjourn, though, we got to do our famous Braille rocks and canes rock. So on the count of 3, please yell out Braille rocks. 1, 2, 3. I think the rafters just came down.
Yeah, I think
All right.
they just did. I think, Mr. G, that canes rock, I think the whole building is going to collapse, and then the whole building is going to collapse. We're all going to die.
We are going to be adjourned after canes rock. So hang on.
Well done, guys. Maybe we'll see.
That's what Parker is doing is reverse psychology. He knows you're going to go out and live. All right, so on the count of 3, we're going to yell canes rock, and then we are adjourned. So 1, 2, 3.